What are the top 5 horses in Warhammer 40k? Firstly, we need to define what a horse is, because otherwise this is going to be a very short list. We are going to define right here and right now what makes a horse. It's an age-old question and one that many people have tried to answer and many people have failed, but I think right here, right now, we need to clearly define that a horse is something with legs, what you ride. In the event of a tiebreak, we will introduce the additional criteria of a horse must also have a head. This means that motorbikes do not count. There will be no motorbikes in this list because motorbikes are not horses. Now we have 2 honourable mentions for this particular top 5, and that is the Attilan Rough Riders and the Death Corps of Krieg. These both get honourable mentions because they both have excellent horses. Admittedly, the Death Corps of Krieg have exceptionally weird horses because their legs are all emaciated and freaky, and they also don't have proper hooves. They've got claws, but then again, it's still a thing what you ride with legs that also has a head, so it does count as a horse, so we will allow it onto the honourable mentions list. Now, on to position number 5 in the top 5 horses of Warhammer 40k, we have the Squig Hogs. Some would argue these are not technically horses, they are in fact Squig Hogs, or if you were a person of science, Piggly Squiggly, as that is the true name for these. I put it to you that these fulfill all the classic criteria and definition of what a horse is, and as such, being as they are such good boys, the Piggly Squigglies do belong in the number 5 slot.
Objection! One of them's got a wheel, don't count.
Oh, you know what, he's right, you know, he's right. I don't think we can't put them in the top 5 slot. One of them's got a wheel. At the number 5 slot, we've got the Seekers of Slaanesh. These are absolute classic horses. They've got legs, they've got bodies, they've got heads. The heads are even long. They've got long snouts, as like as what a horse does. Now, it could be argued that the fact there's only 2 legs instead of 4 legs, that should count against them. And you know what? I completely agree. That is why they're in the number 5 slot. They don't have enough legs. If we are going by the quality of horse is based upon the number of legs what it has, these fall short, and as such, they are languishing in that number 5 slot. By contrast, the Thunderwolf Cavalry, they have got all the limbs you could ask for. There's 4 on every single one of them. None of them have got any wheels to speak of. They also are able to carry an armoured Space Marine, which suggests that they do have the right kind of spine strength to be properly classed as a working horse. They do look exceptionally angry for horses, which I think is fair because they are being forced to carry around fully armoured superhumans, and I think that would ruin any horse's day. A strong entry there, I think, for the Thunderwolf Cavalry for the number 4 slot. The right number of limbs and a head, and they have a strong back. You can't ask for more than that from a good battle-ready horse. In the number 3 slot, we have the Cerberus Sulphur Hounds. Ignore the fact it says hounds at the end. These are clearly horses. They are somewhat mechanical horses, and by somewhat I mean almost entirely, but there is nothing to say that a horse has to be biological. Mechanical horses have been a thing that humanity have had access to for a long, long time. Even before we invented the car, people were riding mechanical horses. The Sulphur Hounds have a lot going for them. They are excellent horses. They are easy to repair. They are easy to replace. They don't necessarily feel any pain, which means that you are cruelty-free whilst riding these particular horses. They can also shoot fire out of their faces, and they have the added benefit of not leaving piles of mess all over the road every time you take them out for a ride. A well-deserved spot at number 3 there for the Sulphur Hounds. In the number 2 slot, we have Juggernauts of Khorne, and these are fantastic horses. They have almost all the right anatomy. They've got hooves instead of feet. That is incredibly important. That is accuracy and coherency to the standard horse template that cannot be overlooked. They have 4 legs, which is super important for being horses. Their tails aren't quite as long as one might expect from a traditional horse, but they do have tails, and that is a point in their favour, and one of the many reasons that they've secured the number 2 slot. Their heads also adhere to the traditional horse template. If you are standing at quite a distance away and you're squinting a bit and the picture is kind of blurry or you have bad eyesight. But that's still better than the Thunderwolves at number 4, because from no distance away do their heads look like horse heads. They look like wolf heads, which as we know is not brilliant for a horse. Juggernauts also have excellent carrying capacity and a good strong spine, capable as they are of carrying either a Bloodletter or a fully armoured Khorne Berserker. They're a solid 9 out of 10 when it comes to horses. And finally, at the number 1 spot, we have the horse that carries around Horticulus Slimax. This particular horse adheres to all of the criteria laid out initially, and more, because this is a horse with many legs. Not 2 legs, not 3 legs, not 4 legs, but loads of legs. Enough legs that I can't be bothered to count them. This horse also features significant protection from the elements and from hostile forces in the form of a large shell upon its back. It also benefits from a quirk of evolution that's allowed it to see in ways that all other horses are completely incapable of seeing. There will be detractors who will say that this is not technically a horse because it's more of a snail, but I put it to you that snails do not have legs. This fulfills all the criteria. It has legs, you can ride it, it can carry stuff, and it has a head. As horses go, this has an unassailable lead upon all of the others in this top 5 list. Are there any other horses in 40k that should have been added to this list, and if so, where should they have gone? Let me know in the comments down below. This is easily the worst video I've ever made, and even as I'm recording it, I don't know why I'm doing this. If you made it this far, I can only ask what the hell is wrong with you and why do you have nothing better to do with your time, and I might see you next time, or I might just delete the channel over the weekend.